Your inner cells are chomping down and consuming vitamins and minerals. You and your skin are radiating and healthy and glowing. Say goodbye to dying, sad cells, which affect how you look and feel. No matter the quality of your skincare routine, without inner cell moisturizing, you've got nothing. So, to get the outer glow, you've got to get the inner glow. I'm going to show you how with a simple 4-step process. So let's start. Step 1. No poisons are allowed. Imagine you're drinking water with just a bit of poison or toxins. How often would you like to gulp that down? You can see that over time, there'll be chaos within your cells. And ultimately for this video, your skin's going to show it and your overall health too. Don't worry if you can't or don't want to do what I'm going to say next. I'll show you a workaround very soon. Ideally, you're going to want to eat and drink everything organic, non-GMO. GMO is banned in Europe, by the way. Pasture raised, grass finished, and wild caught. Why is this a deal? Well, it's tied to moisturizing your inner cells and skincare routine. And I promise to get to that near the end. But in the meantime, an extreme example, oh, it's sad, but it's so true, comes straight from Subway, you know, the popular fast food chain. Get this, it was using an FDA-approved chemical for yoga mats and shoe soles, obviously also banned in Europe, to get its bread bouncy. You may have even eaten it. This is a true story. The ABC News article is in the description. So it just shows how deep we are in with toxins, bad chemicals, and poisons in our food system. And I'm sad to say it's everywhere. If we eat poisons or toxins, including ultra-processed foods, we'll never get that glow. Now, let's say buying higher quality foods and drinks just isn't available right now. Then one of the things you can do is buy as local and farm fresh as you can. So in your local grocery stores, look for local foods or just ask where the food's from and if they know if the growers use chemicals or toxins. But basically, what's best in every case is to buy in season and in your region. And yes, that rhymes. Overall, this gives you the biggest bang for your health buck. By the way, a quick disclaimer is to do everything health related with your doctor or health professional's advice. Let's go to step 2. This step 2 may not be popular, but I promise I've got an excellent, doable workaround. And don't forget, step 4 will also be fun and awesome. Step 2 is to prime the moisturizing of your cells by ingesting about 70% of your diet in the best quality vegetables you can get. Now, if you hate vegetables, I have a link in the description for you for a product that is organic and is easily thrown on food or drinks. Even if you have kids who hate vegetables, they'll also be getting these wholesome vegetable nutrients. By the way, this step is for everyone, so definitely feel free to eat grass-finished organic meats, I sure do, or wild-caught fish with your meal. Just make the veggie part the highest amount. A decent rule of thumb for the amount of protein is roughly the size of your palm. But if you want to start eating 70% real vegetables and your gut's microbe situation is in bad shape and it's rejecting the vegetables for just now, then Dr. Eric Berg's video below will explain some nice workarounds to help you out temporarily until you can eat the majority of your diet in whole vegetables. Your gut will then be in good shape too. Now there's a whole other thing about chewing. It's entirely good for your face shape, bone structure, and good looks. Can you believe that? I'll also have those video links in the description. But chewing and crunching on, let's say, carrots in your daily mega salad, which is what I do, is so essential for good face health. Back in the days, we didn't have this processed and ultra processed food, so we actually engaged our jaws and chewed. Marvel. So step 2 is essential, but it's not really as helpful unless we moisturize ourselves. And we're almost there right after this next step. Step 3 is, I almost can't say it, no to sugar. Please don't hang up right now if you adore or are addicted to sugar, because I understand I was too. I have a great and healthy substitute for that at the end of this step. The way we ingest sugar nowadays, especially this refined and processed stuff, is lethal, friends. And this is why in part. 1, it damages our cells, and particularly those beautiful mitochondria, our cell powerhouses. 2, This leads to low energy, not surprisingly, and unbelievable DNA mutations. This gives us a boatload of health problems, which takes away our healthy inner and outer glow. 3. More obvious reasons are weight gain, diabetes, heart disease, impaired brain cognition, and all kinds of disorders, and I can't even stand rattling off this list. Another thing to keep in mind is that sugar is different on your tongue compared to when it enters your body. In other words, there are types of foods that we put in our mouths that instantly become sugar or spike insulin inside our bodies that don't taste like sugar. Here they are: alcohol, rice, flour, bread, I know, corn, potatoes, beans like kidney beans, fava beans, and so on. And if you want to nerd out on that, I have a CDC link below for the entire list. Basically, any carbohydrate becomes a sugar inside your body. And fructose from fruit also spikes insulin greatly. So the recommendation is just to eat a handful of berries after a meal. But how do you know how much sugar/carbohydrates you're eating? Well, here's a great formula to help you out. What you do is, from the ingredients label, take the amount of carbohydrates minus the fiber and add the sugar. And apparently you want to aim for 20 to 50 grams of sugar a day. So that formula helps you to understand the complete carbohydrate load, which is what spikes insulin when it enters your body. Now you might be wondering, how come all of Europe and healthy Asian lands eat vast amounts of carbs and they seem pretty okay? Well, aside from generally being a little more moderate eaters, I was just in Crete, Greece, and I asked that question there, if anyone gets indigestion, and they were so puzzled when I asked. So the fourth time I rephrased it, they all just said, "Oh, you mean the gluten thing? Yeah, we heard of others having it like tourists, but we don't know anyone here who has it." Crete is the origin of the coined Mediterranean diet, and it's the reason I went there. I wanted to try out as real, unadulterated food in Europe as I could get. Well, I held back crying, eating my first Greek salad in Heraklion, Crete, at the Duke's Art Cafe, by the way. Interesting name, amazing food. I was actually praying not to cry. That's how pure it was. And I can tell you, I've never in my life had anything so delicate as the pure ingredients there. I did ask for the local organic ingredients, which I suggest you do when you visit. I'm a foodie and I've traveled to over 30 countries enjoying their foods, so I have a bit of insight. Now, I told you that we'd cover what we can do for a sweet tooth if we can't have sugars like honeys and fructose and maple syrup and things like that. And I've found that stevia and monk fruit, which is a plant and a fruit, are not bad in moderation. So I use that in my desserts. Now let's move on to step 4. Imagine your vitamins A, D, E, K1, and K2 are swimming in an ocean trying to get into your cell and its nucleus. But because they're not on the moisturizing freighter, they drown. Oh, that's terrible. Can you imagine that? Eating all that luscious, great, good for you, organic when possible, and probably more expensive, best quality ever produce, and it drowns before it can make it to safety in the cell. That's so sad. This is going to lead to a dying type of cell look on your face. So, the secret moisturizer freighter is fat. Because fat carries these beautiful fat-soluble vitamins and nutrients on its back and right into the cell's nuclei. Isn't that neat? So please now consider how low-fat diets will not work for your healthy glow and inner cell moisturizing. Anyway, to get your inner cells moisturized and able to welcome boatloads of glowing, beautiful A, D, E, K1, and K2 vitamins and minerals, give them fat boats to float on so they can directly enter the nucleus. This way, they activate genes. The kind of fat or moisturizer we're talking about is healthy fat. Fat from meat, fish, nuts, olive oil, and dairy that we mentioned earlier in step 1, no poisons allowed. But does this make you fat? No, not when you couple it with steps 2 and 3, which are eating nutrient-rich vegetables as the majority of your diet, and saying no to sugar, which is carbs. I'll have some links on programs that help with maintaining your shape in the description. Here's a caveat. Don't overdo the fats. Just eat moderately as fats occur naturally in foods. And don't be shy on the olive oil and salads. In sum, definitely don't cut out the fat. Your fat-soluble vitamins and cells need it. Just find ways to make it tasty. So for example, on a beautiful steak that has a lot of fat around it, score it and then crisp it up in the pan. Or make chicken skin, which is fat, crunchy. You can deep fry it in a healthy oil like avocado oil and never in the super unhealthy vegetable or seed oils. For a list of these oils and why they're toxic, please see the link below. You can also roast, broil, and sew on the skin, and it gets crispy and delicious. This is how the fat-soluble vitamins and nutrients in your coleslaw, let's say, get on the boat that gets into your cells, and that's how you moisturize your inner cells. So, moisturizing your inner cells with healthy oils and fats is extremely important to your skincare routine because they cart and carry in these essential fat-soluble vitamins and minerals that are so critical to your skin health and to your immune system. It's more critical than what you put on your skin to make it glow, albeit that's also important. These topical cells also need to get moisturized the right way, and that video is right here on how to make your skin glow naturally like Cleopatra. But what's also super critical to all this gorgeous health and glow to truly glow is in this next video. Brilliance inside out. That's Core Glow.